right before he's about to kill baby Hitler, boom, Tilda Swinton, the Ancient One, shows up. Deadpool goes on a journey kind of fixing all the plot holes and like mistakes made throughout the MCU.
He's hired to kill all of the Spider-Man throughout the multiverses.
Deadpool will be introduced into this universe in an attempt to kill Smart Hulk.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. This is Rogue Theory. I'm Erik Voss, filling in for Philip this week as he hustles, I guess, to keep us all from starving. God bless that man. Don't worry, everything's fine. But he's just an angel and a saint, and we appreciate him. But as I take over for Rogue Theory this week, Deadpool is about to take over the MCU, folks. And going rogue with me on Deadpool remotely is Tommy Bechtold.
Yeah!
Yeah, that's the sound he makes. We also got Danielle Spisso here with us.
Hi!
Yay!
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I still don't have my Wednesday Addams outfit, but
I know.
I'll
Zach
make
tried
good on that someday.
to trick me again and said it was also a costume episode, but I caught on this time. Fool me once.
That's a deep cut for the lifelong Rogue Theory watchers. Okay, go back to like mid-November episode. Yeah.
Yeah, or why not watch all of our episodes of Rogue Theory on repeat? Watch them over and over again. We won't mind. And yes, we also have off-screen producer Zach Huddleston with us as well.
Salutations, friends. I normally introduce myself as the poor man's Tommy Bechtold, but the real Tommy Bechtold's here, so...
You can still be the poor man's Tommy Bechtold.
Okay.
The rich man's Tommy Bechtold, if anything. Tommy Bechtold with a little stimulus, huh? A little 1,200 Tommy Bechtold.
Hey, you know, here at Rogue Theory, we don't discriminate against Prince Tommies or Poppers Tommies. So we're going to all together go rogue on Deadpool. Here's the deal, folks. We know that Kevin Feige and the higher-ups at Disney, like Bob Iger, who's back in control of the studio, they're all very interested in a Deadpool MCU film. They're also willing to keep it R-rated. Some recent rumors are suggesting that Marvel might soft reboot the character with like a new Wade Wilson. Those aren't confirmed yet. So in this meantime, as we're all waiting to find out what happens, I want you three to pitch me the best way that Marvel can introduce Deadpool into the MCU.
And let me just say, everyone is sounding crystal clear on my new headphones, sent to me by my friend Mark Andon, Bill's Mafia. Thank you, Mark. You are the man. Anyway, moving forward, Deadpool. How are you going to get into the universe? Well, he's got to fight a big guy, a jolly green giant, if you will. Deadpool will be introduced into this universe in an attempt to kill Smart Hulk. Now, how will he kill Smart Hulk? Let me get there, okay? Hulk cannot be killed. Deadpool regenerates. I mean, Hulk can... I mean, they think they figured out a couple ways to kill him in some offshoot comics, but Deadpool regenerates. I mean, they tried really hard at Deadpool 2 to kill him. He really wanted to die, and it didn't happen. So I think we're going to have the leader, Tim Blake Nelson's character from The Incredible Hulk. He's going to hire Wade Wilson, a.k.a. Deadpool, to kill Smart Hulk. And they're going to fight, and a lot of stuff is going to get damaged, and a lot of stuff is going to get broken, and a lot of quippy one-liners, and a lot of, like, almost... what's the, like, Vin Diesel from Fast and Furious or Dave Bautista from Guardians level Hulk comebacks that are kind of just groans and, like, very simple, like, completions of the joke. Punchlines are going to happen, but eventually they're going to realize that they are being manipulated, or Wade is going to realize he's being manipulated and that the Hulk is not the threat that he thinks he is, and then they're going to team up, and it's going to be just like, you know, a knock 'em out, shooting down bad guys, Fast and Furious style team up buddy movie that will treat both audiences and the filmmakers to a delightful 2-hour romp. I estimate making $700 million in the box office.
You know, that's exactly what the world is missing right now. Another Fast and Furious movie.
Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate
we were
that.
promised one.
We're owed one, guys. Let's get it going. The cherry on the top of this Sunday is that when they finally do realize that they're meant to be on the same side, Deadpool joins the Avengers, thus weaving him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe as one of those, like, we can pull you in when we need your help, a la SpiderMan in Captain America Civil War.
Tommy,
Yes.
I don't have our supply of Rogies on my end. Those are in quarantine with Philip. But what I do have are Sparklebuck Rogies, which have the currency exchange value of 1-to-1. So I'm going to award you just for comparing your pitch to anything Fast and Furious related. You got me on board.
Wow.
Already take my money, Disney.
Wow.
And you get 1 Sparklebuck Rogie.
Wow! Oh, it's an owl puppet that I found. It's an owl puppet that I think belonged to my brother when he went through a really big Harry Potter phase. Look at the head; it rotates, full rotation. Look at the wings. Look at his head
So
wing.
realistic.
Oh no! Look at Iva. Ah, he's gone. We're remembering it all over again.
Rogie.
He died just like in the movies.
Spoiler alert for Deathly Hallows.
Yeah. If you've seen Deathly Hallows, then you know. If you haven't, now you do know. There's no point in watching it.
I love that movie. Even if that's not Deadpool's introduction to the MCU, they need to make that happen at some point in Phase 4.
Yeah, I think it will take the fun of Thor Ragnarok when Thor and Hulk are fighting and multiply it by 4 or 5.
We've seen a variation of this with Deadpool teaming up with Colossus, right? Like he works well with a big, strong guy, right?
Yeah. Who's not as verbose as him. Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Well, I think that Deadpool, the only way they can really justify it is if they kind of weave in the multiverse, a la SpiderMan, you know what I mean? Just because he hasn't existed, the only way they can make it make sense, sure, everyone will buy it if he just enters into the universe, because now he's bought, but it would be really cool if he's hired to kill all of the Spider-Man throughout the multiverses, and then he has a little soft spot for Miles Morales, because who doesn't, you know?
Oh, I love it. So Deadpool is entering the Spider-Verse side of the multiverse specifically. Okay, cool.
Specifically, yeah. And cute little Miles Morales. I mean, I could see him and Deadpool having like a very hip, fun relationship.
Yeah.
Who knows what that means?
Hello, fellow children.
But I really don't buy that they're gonna let it be R-rated. I mean, this is Disney we're talking about, and they may say that they're gonna let it be R-rated, but when was the last time Disney did an R-rated movie?
They don't. And they even digitally covered up Daryl Hannah's butt from Splash when they put that on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Super long hair. Wasn't the Hunchback of Notre Dame rated R, or did I see a different version? I saw the Humpback of Notre Dame on my Pornhub Premium account. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, okay.
Definitely.
And so, and just real quick, Danielle, are you saying that Deadpool's going to show up animated, or that Miles Morales is going to show up live action?
Funny you say that. Last time I was on the show, I said that I really wanted there to be a Roger Rabbit style Spider-Verse next Spider-Man movie. So maybe this is it. Maybe there's a little cartoon human action going on. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Cartoon on human action.
Tommy loves cartoon human action.
That's really the only thing keeping me warm these days.
No kink shaming, okay? No kink shaming.
Danielle, I think that's a great idea. I think definitely pairing up Wade Wilson with Peter Parker. I mean, Deadpool started in a way a kind of parody, like an adult version of the Spider-Man character. His costume was inspired by Spider-Man. It was just like, what if Spider-Man was like a real asshole and was profane and meta, even more meta than he is. So yeah, I think those two need to be in a movie together, and I hope that at some point Disney can just like buy all of Sony's Spider-Man properties so that we don't have to like think about what kind of weird arrangements they would need to make that happen.
Yes.
Who would be like behind it? Like, does Wade Wilson have an axe to grind against the Spider-Mans? Is it out of jealousy, or is he like hired because he's a hitman?
I feel like he's hired. You know, he's like a give no shits kind of guy, and I feel like he's like a hitman kind of in my, like, he teams up with sort of, I mean, I like the idea. This is also, I mean, this is like a little bonus idea, I guess. I like the idea of him teaming up with like the people who didn't make the X-Men, the X-Force, the Whispers of the X-Force, because they're kind of like the like not cool kids, the ones that weren't cool enough to make it in You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. And I love bringing in some of these leftover pieces, because we're supposed to get an X-Force movie. I think Drew Goddard was going to direct it, and then, Disney bought out all of Fox's stuff, so that got shelved. So to bring in that piece of it, and to put Spider-Man in a movie with Deadpool, you're getting 2 Sparkle Buck Rogies.
Wow! That's so lucky, because mine turned into gloves, and what's good? One glove without another one,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You need 2 gloves, because you're going to grab something with the wrong hand, and the wrong thing with the wrong hand. Zach, hit us with your theory.
Okay, here's my theory, and I think it's kind of like Deadpool works his way into the MCU by going meta, right? And so, the first Deadpool movie was kind of like a meta commentary on superhero movies. The second Deadpool movie was kind of a meta commentary on sequels, right? And kind of the tropes and traps of being in a sequel. So I think this is going to kind of be a meta commentary on like broad cinematic universes. Right, so as Deadpool comes into the MCU, he comments on the MCU. And so Deadpool 2 ended with him kind of doing all the time travel, killing himself before he did Green Lantern, and killing himself before the bad Deadpool version and Wolverine Origins. So I think like that continues right before he's about to kill baby Hitler. Boom, Tilda Swinton, the Ancient One, shows up. Okay, and it's like, wait, Wilson, there's some other problems we need you to correct, right? And then Deadpool goes on a journey kind of fixing all the plot holes and like mistakes made throughout the MCU, right? So like, going back and like all the weird retcons that the MCU has had to do, like, that was an Infinity Stone the whole time, or like, no, ignore this version of time travel because we got this version of time travel, or all of that. Like, he can go in, wink to the audience, right? The whole time, he's not only like fixing these problems in the MCU, he's also like inserting himself in the MCU, right? Like, you go to the background of like, the New York battle from Avengers 1, and like you pan down to the street and like, Deadpool's trying to finish his Monte Cristo sandwich or whatever, right?
I was there the whole time.
Yes, right? And he literally can be. It's like he's physically retconning himself into the MCU.
I love it.
Love it.
I do love that. It reminds me of like what I loved Avengers Endgame, obviously, but like I feel like the second act of that movie could have blown out the world of the past MCU even more than they did. I get it needs to be more than just a time travel movie, but like this kind of sounds like exactly what like the fanboy in me wanted Avengers Endgame to entirely be, just like a Back to the Future 2 style thing for 3 hours.
Yeah, and you could see, like, you've covered it a lot, Eric, that, like, Marvel's going to be playing more with this time travel stuff with the Loki series, and, like, obviously we're getting into the multiverse. It's also, like, it's such a thing in comics for them to have, like, meta kind of comics, right? Like the whole like Spider-Ham universe, and like the, like Marvel got to a place where it was very kind of commenting on itself constantly, and that's kind of like the fun of Deadpool, if he comments on the tropes of superhero movies, and like this totally lets you do that, right? Like, and you can get a Robert Downey Jr. cameo, which is what we all want.
That's what we all want.
Yes.
I mean, it's great, and even if they can't get the actors themselves, they have so much footage from, like, Lola VFX where they can just, like, drag and drop them in there. They get body doubles to stand in. Like, Kevin Feige can just make an entire movie based off of existing footage from all of these characters and not have to hire anyone. Just pay them appearance fees or whatever.
Yes.
And that movie will make $1 billion.
Outgrossing my movie, which is only going to make $700 million.
Is that Humpback 2, Return to Notre Dame?
No, that's The Little Sperm Maid, which is a spiritual sequel to Ass Latin.
Well, and you're still working on the script for Loin King, right?
Yes, Loin King comes right after Poker Haunches. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great. We're going to do all of it.
The spirit of Deadpool is very much alive in this episode right now. All right, I got to put an end to this pitch contest. Zach, you did a great job, especially for parodying Avengers Endgame, a wonderful film that probably took itself a bit too seriously, if you ask me. And for that, you get 2 Sparkle Buck Rogies.
Well, those those turned into, I only own like 14 books, but that turned into Easy Riders and Raging Bull. The definitive book on 70s cinema.
That's a great book.
And Improvise, Scene from the Inside Out. Mick Napier's book. I've only read 2/3 of it, but it's great.
Yeah,
Hey, it might be one of the few improv theaters in this country to survive this.
Topical.
All right, give me these Deadpool theories in a tweet.
Hulk killed by Deadpool? Not cool. I don't like it. I want to see a team up between these two dreams pups. Deadpool and Hulk. I'd buy it in bulk. Because I want a lot of it.
That's such a long tweet.
It's 100. It's 1,000 characters.
All right, Danielle.
All right, here's my tweet. Hashtag Deadpool into the hashtag Spider-Verse question mark?
Ooh.
Question mark?
And it gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
What? And then I would attach a picture of me like this.
Yeah.
Okay, mine's going to be in the style of like a 1950s Variety headline. Mucho Merc with a mouth marauds into MCU. Much meta ensues.
I love it. Let us know in the comments which of these theories for Deadpool you like the best and want to see the most in the MCU, or if you like all three of them, which order you want to see Kevin Feige make these movies. Those of you watching this know that like now you're living your entire life online and you're getting all your content from different digital streaming platforms, and now that all of our lives have to be online, it's more important, at least for me, than ever to like protect yourself online, protecting your identity, having the kind of access that we all should have no matter where we are. Well, thanks to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this episode. ExpressVPN protects your privacy and security online, but it can also help unlock movies and shows that are only available in certain countries. Like, weirdly, Rick and Morty is on Netflix in France. Star Trek Discovery is on Netflix in the UK. You can't watch either of those shows. Lots of other shows on just regular old USA Netflix. And those of you living in the UK or in other countries probably know that there's like certain things you can't access based off of where you are. Well, ExpressVPN cuts right through that. You just fire up the ExpressVPN app and you change your location. You refresh Netflix or Hulu, whatever streaming service you're using, and you watch whatever you want regardless of where you live, which is how the internet should be. ExpressVPN hides your IP address and lets you control where you want sites to think you're located, and you can choose from almost 100 different countries. There are hundreds of VPNs out there. I use ExpressVPN because it is ridiculously fast. There's never any buffering or lag, and you can stream in HD without problems. ExpressVPN is compatible with all your devices, phones, media consoles, smart TVs, and more, so you can watch what you want on a personal device or on the big screen, wherever you are. If you visit my special link right now at expressvpn.com/rogue, you can get an extra 3 months free of ExpressVPN. Support the show, watch what you want, protect yourself with ExpressVPN at expressvpn.com/rogue. Okay, also, every week, those of you on our Discord know that we play a game of Rogue Theory, specifically with our patrons on New Rockstars official Discord. This week, we had 3 selected patrons pitch their plot for the upcoming The Batman film with Robert Pattinson, directed by Matt Reeves. Some really, really great ideas were pitched. Vinla and Damn Wig had some great theories, but the winner was Quizno! Well done, my friend. Quizno wove Gotham nightclubs and politics, the Riddler, the Penguin, Catwoman, Harvey Dent, all together in a really fun noir story. It's kind of like LA Confidential, but for Batman. Like, there was a whole mayoral race between Thomas Wayne and Oswald Cobblepot, where Thomas Wayne was assassinated, then Oswald won, but then was like recalled after a week due to corruption, and then now Batman 12 years later is like going through the nightclub scene to try to bring down the Penguin and his revenge story. What do you guys think of this?
I thought it was great. I'm like a big fan of like Chinatown and LA Confidential and all those kind of like weird twisty noir stories. And like that's why I really liked Quizno's theory, especially because like I don't know if we've seen like a Batman movie that's like such an ensemble piece, right? Where like so many moving parts.
First of all, Quizno, big fan of your sandwiches. Second of all, big fan of your theories. I love anything that involves a nightclub. That opens us up to maybe some Joel Schumacher neon Batman tie-ins again. I would love to see some club kids with glow sticks, hopped up on Molly, drinking water, kissing each other, rubbing each other down, That's the type of Batman I'd love to see.
I love a noir Batman. I think that's very, and I feel like it's also very hip right now to have like a sorted election.
Corrupt elections are so in right now.
They're so in.
I mean, you're not wrong. Look, the Dark Knight had that ad campaign where, like, I support Harvey Dent, right? They had the buttons. And then, like, the movie began with him having already won. But, like, that whole lead-in, that whole, like, meta-narrative that led into the movie was also super interesting. I would love to see, like, an election go down in Gotham. All right, speaking of the Batman, the director of that movie, Matt Reeves, did an interview this week where he was asked if the world still needed a billionaire Batman. Now, he said yes, but it did get us thinking about whether Bruce Wayne's insane wealth is really a necessary part of the Batman character, and if Batman could work without the billions. There have been some comic stories where Batman was not rich, but every movie version we've seen of him so far, he's had basically unlimited resources, which, not saying he, doesn't deserve it or he doesn't use it wisely. It's just like, is there a version of Batman that's relatable to us in our financial struggles? I want to hear from you guys. Pitch me a Batman movie in which Bruce Wayne does not get to use his wealth.
Okay, I found a loophole. I have a little bit of a loophole here. Everyday guy, everyday Joe, living his life in, bum Arizona. Let's put him in Arizona. And he wins the lottery. That's relatable. It's like something that anyone can dream of, at least that like...
More relatable than like inheriting billions.
Exactly.
Sure.
Like it's something that seems more realistic than inheriting billions of dollars. And who wouldn't win the lottery and then decide to become Batman? I mean, no one has ever done that.
Sure, probably a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people. But this guy, in this universe, he wins millions. He buys himself up, let's say billions. The lottery was up there like last year, right?
Sometimes.
Builds a Batmobile, learns some karate skills. He's Batman. And you don't hate him for having all that money.
You know what's interesting is, I've always found this interesting about the lottery. They have this big event where the person reveals themselves. Like, way to put a target on your back amongst all your crazy relatives and everyone who went to grade school and high school with you. They're all going to be finding you, and like, if they know where you live, they're going to murder you or they're going to blackmail you to steal your money. If I won, I would never out myself. I would just be like, give me the check, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I would not let them take pictures of me with a big check. No. So this could be how he responds to that. He's like, all right, come at me. I'm Batman.
You can't get murdered if you're Batman.
And he has to become Batman to protect himself from all those kids he went to grade school with or whatever. Yeah.
Danielle, what was he doing before he won the lottery? Like, what was he a heroic person at all, or was it just money that made him decide to be Batman?
Some people might call it a hero, but I think he was a true crime podcaster. Already has a taste.
Yes.
Yeah.
Already has a taste for solving crimes, just no skills or money to do it.
Everyone who listens to true crime podcasts, like deep down, wants to be Batman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eric, if you won couple $1 million, wouldn't you secretly become Batman?
No, I'd buy a boat.
That's the Florida boy in you.
Exactly. You see, some of us are from Florida, and we've seen people in Florida win the lottery, and they do become a type of vigilante. It just means they buy a bunch of guns and shoot people in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And they get arrested.
Yeah.
Gotta love my hometown.
All right, I'm going to give you another Sparklebuck Rogie for that theory, because it reminded me of Florida.
What am I going to do with this other glove? I only have 2 hands.
You better win another one, so you can go outside twice. All right, who's next?
Okay, I have an idea here. So, my concept, Batman starts the way we've always seen him. Bruce Wayne is an heir to a fortune, runs a company, has a lot of wealth, but a problem arises in Gotham. All of the kids, maybe everybody under 16, is falling ill. Okay, some kind of crazy, it's like a reverse corona where the young people are the ones who are susceptible. And Bruce Wayne funnels all of his wealth, all of his resources into trying to find a cure, and literally spends all his money, a la a Bill Gates or whatever, who puts a lot of money into trying to cure diseases. And he's exhausted all of his resources and he's basically broke, but of course it's his hero ethos, right? He has to save these people. Boom. Of course it comes out, there's the Joker started this disease, okay, to wipe out kids. It's the like no more laughter disease or whatever, okay? And as he's like drained Batman, right? Batman comes and like, beats the devil out of him. Joker's just about to die when he reveals that like the cure is in his blood or something like that. So you have to keep me alive, But like I do love the idea of like Batman with like less money makes him, you said it, relatable, Eric, but also like it adds stakes. Like every time he crashes the Batmobile, he's going to be like, oh man, my insurance premiums are going to go up. Like, yeah.
Don't ask me how I know this, but just so you know, you don't have to keep someone alive to keep their blood. So.
Oh. Ooh. I don't want to know how you know that.
But don't you have to like, I don't know, sometimes to get enough blood to make enough samples maybe to mass produce, you have to keep them alive?
You just gotta keep them in a coma.
All right, we're learning some dark things about Danielle today.
Like a Fury Road Blood Boy or whatever. We just got us a Joker Blood Boy and
I've done that.
Joker Blood Boy.
That's a great way to spend a weekend. Get a little cutie pie on one of those portable hangers and just drag around, drain their blood all weekend. You feel like a king.
Tommy, have you been a blood boy for someone before?
I've both given and received blood, yes. I believe blood is a full circle. It's a circle of life that moves us all.
All right, Zach, for your theory, what I like about your theory is it's dealing with like a public health crisis, which, I mean, not only is it relevant for our current situation, but like most people don't, really feel the consequences of their financial hardship until there's some kind of illness or injury that realize, oh, I'm not protected at all. I don't have insurance. So like more people go bankrupt from like not being able to pay their health care or having some kind of illness than anything else. So that's what I think is super interesting to go the health angle. So for that, I'm going to give you another sparkle buck.
Look, that became Storyteller, the Roald Dahl biography.
Wow. That's a big book.
I know, I haven't. I'm like 10 pages in. I probably always will be.
All right, Tommy, what's your Batman theory?
Okay, so my theory is it's a quiet time in Gotham. So Bruce Wayne is actually taking more of a visual role at Wayne Enterprises and also still selling the image of himself as billionaire, playboy, obnoxious, alcoholic, reckless. His behavior begins to disenfranchise a young accountant at Wayne Enterprises, who is a master of math and statistics and probability, a young Nathan Silver, if you will. He deduces that Bruce Wayne is Batman without any beyond. Like he figures out with an equation, a la Mark Zuckerberg at the window in Social Network. That makes it irrefutable that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he threatens to go public with that information unless Bruce Wayne liquidates through bad investments his fortune. Now, this man he's more of a like not altruistic, but like he's an eco-terrorist. He doesn't want anything for his own gain. He wants to see a billionaire fall to his knees. So he forces Bruce Wayne to make a series of bad investments that he's also figured out through probability, kind of like the computer in Westworld this season that can kind of predict the market and actually control the market. Sure. He's kind of using technology similar to that to convince or to figure out how Bruce Wayne can make these investments and basically sink the company, drive them out of business. So that happens. We cut to 5 years later. Bruce Wayne is now a broken man. He has nothing. He has some physical assets left. He has no liquid cash. He is literally solving crimes in the joke manner mentioned in The Dark Knight. He's wearing hockey pads as he is fighting. Like he has. I know it sounds funny, but I mean, literally, he has to figure out a way to still continue to serve this duty he feels he has to this city to save the people of Gotham with meager, limited resources and the help of, the people that were once below him and dedicated servants, and like Lucius Fox and Alfred are now actually more wealthy than him, and they can only help so much. The way that if you have a relative who's wealthy but not rich, they can send you $50 for your birthday, but they can't pay for your college. So it's basically a story of a man who's lost it all, trying to find the rich that comes within, the satisfaction of a hard day's work.
The stock markets aren't going so well for you right now, Tommy.
I've never had enough money to invest, Danielle, but thank you for assuming that. I appreciate that very much. I did have a savings bond I cashed out 3 years early for pennies on the dollar once.
Tommy, you kind of bring up that subplot in The Dark Knight Rises, where Bane was kind of this Dickensian class warrior, where he hit Bruce Wayne at his stock value or whatever. And the way he hit him in that movie makes no sense in the real world. Like, you would have certain protections if someone tried to form a heist in Wall Street.
Yes.
You can't hit someone that way. But to a long, death by 1,000 cuts, forcing him to make bad investments and slowly chisel. You found a good rewrite of that weird Bane subplot in Dark Knight Rises.
I think that's kind of what the seed for that idea was what if we made that a little more plausible?
So this guy's less of a Robin Hood and more of just wants to see the world burn.
Yeah, he's a Joker almost. Maybe he is the Joker. Maybe he's the son of the Joker. Maybe he's the daughter of the Joker. Wow, wouldn't that be some interesting stuff right there? All right, moving along.
You don't move it along, I move it along. But I will move it along with the rewarding of a Sparkle Rogie buck for you, Tommy.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, it's a strange music box of mice around a sewing machine I found in my mom's room. And it plays this song. Can you hear it?
It's delightful.
Oh, we can hear it. I'll hear it through my dreams tonight.
We're definitely all cursed now.
They're working hard and they don't make any money. These mice are our slaves.
Do they come to life at nighttime?
You'll never know.
They come to life and death. Sorry, I gotta speed it through now because I wound it too tight. All right, give it back to me in a tweet.
Yeah.
Rags to riches Batman. Batman wins the lottery. Uses it to buy a Batmobile in stuff. The N, to save on characters. Hashtag Everyman.
Yes.
And then I'm going to use the emoji, the $, and then the winky face. Pretty good.
I love that tweet because I feel like out of context, people would be like, wait, Batman won the lottery? Everyman?
That guy gets everything!
It'd be like one of these things where it's everyone on Twitter would be like, you.
As you can tell by my 36 followers, I'm very good at Twitter.
Yeah.
We'll get you more from this episode.
Yes.
Okay, so my tweet would be, while Batman bleeds himself dry to save Gotham's kids, in the end, he has to bleed Joker dry. Wow. Hashtag blood stuff. Hashtag Batman. Hashtag Joker. Hashtag 2024.
All right, Tommy.
Bruce Wayne broke? That's a joke. Unless it's not, it's all part of an evil plot from a new accountant reaching into the fountain of Bruce Wayne's riches. And that's all, bitches.
It rhymed?
It always
Wow.
rhymes,
You
Danielle.
can't, I guess it rhymes if you make up words like fountain.
And I do. And I do.
Wow, what a limerick.
All right, now we have time for a few rogue questions. Are you guys ready?
Woo!
Yeah.
Yes.
Twitter user Dinosaur Dracula got a lot of attention last week when he opened up a 25-year-old can of SpiderMan Chef Boyardee, and it had turned into a dusty brick. Oh, I love this. What food from your childhood would you risk certain death to try again?
I'll start. I was a huge fan of Surge Cola as a tween, and I'm sure there are parts of me that will never be the same because of how much Surge Cola I drank as a youth. It was pitched as a more hardcore Mountain Dew, and this little dude really enjoyed it.
Mine would be Dunkaroos.
Yes.
Because those would never go bad either. I could crack open one of those babies, the icing would still be smooth. That's what I think.
Yeah.
For me, I went to rehab for Fun Dip. And I think that little, where you dip the foot into the dust,
Oh, yeah.
I was freebasing that. And I would chase it with Jolt Cola. And I don't know if you remember, but Jolt Cola's brag was that they had 10 times the caffeine of regular cola. So much like
for
a
a
surge.
child.
Yeah, it's crazy that I've struggled with uppers my whole life.
If you think about it, Fun Dip is kind of like the ultimate gateway drug.
Yeah.
It's like we were giving kids powders way too early.
But if you ever snort it, God, does it hurt. So I don't recommend that. Just eat it normal if you find a Fun Dip. Just eat it normally off of the sweet tart shaped like a foot, okay? Like any other normal person.
Eat it normally, boil it in a spoon, put it in a syringe,
find a vein, mainline it.
Yeah. We know how to eat Fun Dip. Next question. This week was April 20th, 420. Yep. Who's your favorite pop culture character that isn't publicly a stoner, but is definitely a stoner?
Daniel Tiger from Daniel Tiger's Playhouse. He doesn't have a job. He lives in a treehouse. He speaks in kind of a hepcat language where he replaces regular words with meows. It's not obvious
Isn't he 6?
I mean, he's been around since the 70s, so, I mean, he's like the same way Bart Simpson is 11 or 10. Daniel Tiger is probably 185 for all we know, and he's getting lifted up in that tree, okay?
I think mine is definitely Michelangelo of the Ninja Turtle variety.
Not the painter?
Because he's like not the painter, but also probably the painter. Yeah, he's like, I mean, they all love pizza, but he loves lots of snacks, and he's just so goofy. Even in stressful fighting situations, he's just making up goofs and not really paying attention. And he always is the one that comes up with the wrong catchphrase word, They're like, tubular, excellent, and then he says some random word.
So yeah, that's the mind of a stoner.
Yeah. That or some other sort of mind-altering drugs. Maybe ketamine.
But that's a theme. See, both Danielle and I agree. Stoners make up words that don't exist.
Yeah.
Well, in keeping with that theme, my pick is going to be Groot. Okay? From the Guardians of the Galaxy. Because not only, he is a plant. Right, so we don't know his exact cell structure. There could be some cannabinoids, THC, CBD flowing through. We know, he kind of can shoot off little things that look like embers, as if maybe he's almost smoking himself. That tree smokes trees. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's like that kind of stoned where you only can say the one thing over and over again.
Yeah.
The worst kind of stoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. For Michelangelo, Danielle, I give you one of these because I believe that you have to be stoned to eat pizza that is clearly that hot and melty and not really react to it during your mouth.
It's true.
Yeah. All right, and final question. Tiger King finally got bumped from the top of Netflix's top 10 for the first time in a month by Despicable Me. So I want you guys to give me your best impression of Joe Exotic threatening the Minions.
Kevin Minion, you think you can come over here and get at me and my tigers? Well, let me tell you something, Bob. Let me tell you something, Stuart. When you watch pornos, do you like the little bitty penis or the big penis? Well, then you ain't that straight, are you? I saw a tiger. Now I understand.
All right, who's next?
Now you listen here, you little yellow turd-looking tiny banana eaters. Karma's a bitch, and so are the explosives I've got in the back of my truck.
Oh, that's great. We might need to edit mine in first because it'll be the weakest, and there's no way I can follow these people.
No.
Okay, so mine's going to be like, hey, you, the one with the one eye? Okay, I'm going to come get you just like Carol Baskin, all right? And I know you killed your minion wife, okay, and buried her on your property, okay? And then he shoots a gun indoors. That's how it ends.
Yes.
Spot on.
Yes.
Spot on.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to award all three of you a Rogie. Sparklebach.
Hey.
Wow. Mine came back as this scary football player Ghostbuster with a football for a tongue. There, you can see it
That's
now.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine turned
there you
into
go.
Michael Chabon's Moonglow, another book I haven't
Hey,
finished.
that is a good book.
Ooh, I can leave my house twice now.
Hey!
I never got to use
Okay,
this.
so let's
I didn't get to use it because I didn't do good enough to get enough roguies, so I just wanted to.
No, you didn't. You didn't next time, maybe. But I was very disappointed. Okay, let's get. How much roguies do we have? Let's break it down.
I think I have by far the least. I only have 3.
I have 4.
Okay.
I have 4 as well.
Whoa!
Oh. Okay, so whoever can do the best minion response to Joe Exotic gets the win.
Banana.
Mimo. I didn't kill my wife. I don't know.
Meemo.
I do know they say banana,
Right?
so Danielle gets the
Good
win.
try, Zach. Good job,
Definitely say
Danielle.
banana.
Banana.
All right, so Danielle, do you have a wish, something that you can force your co-contestants to do as is your winning privilege?
I wish that they would do a cover of one of Joe Exotic's songs.
From the top. 3, 2, 1. I saw Tiger. Now I understand. I saw Tiger. And Tiger saw a man. Well, I'm a big gay tiger fan. I do whatever a tiger can. I
this is the
scratch and I
remix.
claw. I eat little baby cubs. That's it. That's the song.
Wow.
All right, great. Yes, well done. Well, that is it for this episode of Rogue Theory. Thanks to our guests, Tommy and Danielle and Zach. All 3 of you were wonderful. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Good job, guys.
And Philip should be back next week. This is not a permanent thing. He's so much better at this than I am. I'm happy just to get back to my other toiling that I normally do. Don't forget to subscribe to the Rogue Theory podcast feed and stay tuned to the YouTube channel for this and plenty of other shows. You can follow me on Twitter at EA Voss, and of course follow New Rockstars. Try to get that crazy nightmare music out of your head. And we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.